Welcome to the Local Service Podcast episode Who Knows What? It's November 5th and we are back in action. Let's take a look how long it's been since I posted one of these Johns. And honestly, a lot has happened. So if you Google the Local Service Podcast, we rank number one for the Local Service Podcast. We are on Spotify. We have a website. Damn, we even have an Instagram, a YouTube. But really, I would listen to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That's probably where I'm going to put it. I'm not really going to do too many videos yet. Who knows? Maybe. But as of now, the last episode was March 13, 2025, titled Google Ads Review for Local Service-Based Businesses. But today, what I want to talk about is more agency side. So it's not necessarily for local service-based businesses, but kind of. And so what I mean by that is we have recently, literally last week, updated we were a month-to-month, cancel anytime, anything we build, the clients keep, and we are now a 3-month minimum. So a 3-month contract in order to get a little bit more runway whenever we book a client. And, I think you always become the thing you think you aren't if you continue growing. So I never had an issue with agencies having contracts. I always heard from customers oh, that's cool, you guys don't do contracts. I don't see why people do contracts. And in my head, or I didn't even say it's well, there's a reason they do it. And the reason they do it is because it's a way of raising the bar. What's the barrier? Not everybody can just sign up for everything. That's one thing. 2 is having a little bit more control over the situation. So if you put it all in writing, hey, we're going to do SEO services. Here's what it comes with. Here's what you can expect. It's in writing. You're signing off on it. Agency signing off on it. Client signing off on it. It's okay, we're in agreement. And if it turns out that both parties, by the way, if it's hey, I want to add in meta ads, it's well, no, we're doing this. And same thing from the agency side. Hey, it's hey, we have to deliver because there's a contract on that. I'll argue that 90 days, which is 3 months, is not even that's not a long-term contract. This is a baby step into moving into the contract space. But I think that's okay. I think it's something I want to test out, mainly because in the month of October, let me give you these numbers. Let me pull up these numbers for our churn, our customers that signed up, and our customers that actually made a Reddit post about this. Let me pull this up. So if I go to my Reddit here, which you can find as well, I basically just post on agency subreddit, and if you follow me on anything, I post on Instagram, TikTok, pretty consistently, Facebook as well. So TikTok I post the most, Facebook and Instagram I post second most. LinkedIn I post probably third most. YouTube, poor YouTube. I don't know when the last time I posted there, but I should post there. And then I post on the podcast, 4 times a year? Anyways, I posted one on Reddit called Adding 3-Month Minimum Contracts to Improve Our 14% Churn Rate. So what is a churn rate? A churn rate is how many clients did you have and how many clients left. So for us in October, it's actually insane. This is literally why I added contracts in. And it's been happening, but it's you kind of need to let data happen so that you choose or not choose to do it. So in October alone, we had 22 new clients sign up. And we reactivated 3 clients. So clients that were clients, and then they came back. So that's a total of 25 new clients, basically. And then we had 17 clients cancel. Granted, it is because it's getting cold in a lot of areas of the United States. So they canceled. Yes, some canceled, but some paused. And I do believe they're going to come back, but it doesn't matter. 25 gained, 17 lost, so we're up 8 clients. Here's the crazy thing about it too. Because we're more of very friendly with our pricing, very friendly with signing up and canceling, we always have and I think this is any business, we have more people that aren't necessarily ready for marketing, but they have enough budget to try it at least for a month. And we also, on top of this, to kind of expedite the process, we also we created a package for meta ads only. So $350 meta ads only. We keep everything on the meta ad side, and I think it's I think it's fine to do that, but it doesn't, it's so much work, and it's just not it's not feasible. And so I'm glad we tried it out, but took that away, and in total we gained $12,950 in new revenue with the 25 customers. So that's a fairly low average revenue per customer. And then revenue lost from customers is $12,100. So for that, all that activity in October, which is a lot of time, by the way, the onboarding, the sales process, the making of the invoices, the offboarding, all that, there's a net gain of $850. Now, granted, obviously, if we made $850 total, I mean, we'd be no longer in business. But luckily, we are at a very healthy MRR, monthly recurring revenue. So, like, it's fine. If anything, that was just playing defense. But part of the problem is being so easy to cancel and being so, it's like, do whatever you like, client. And I think it's fine. Like, we grew to this point. I think we're at 70K MRR for the last, 6 months. And so, I mean, some months have been higher, actually. I think one month we hit 80. So, it works. Like, if you want to brute force and just power through this, you can, or at least we can, but it is something that, it's tiring. Or rather, it's very chaotic. And so, adding this 3-month barrier, basically, should, make clients think a little more about, okay, should I sign up? So, we should have more serious endeavors here. And also, it gives us more runway. Instead of, hey, they can cancel anytime, we would know 90 days. Okay, guys, we have 90 days to figure this out, to let things run a little longer than normal. Because part of the problem with running ads, because we do a lot of ad work, is if you don't get leads or results fairly quickly, people cancel because it's not working. And can it be something that works? Yes. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow, sometimes it takes longer, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. So it's kind of hard to say. And this is the other part that I figured out too, which is kind of eye-opening, but it's also a little annoying. It's so we were selling this package for $350, and we've always had a $350 version. So we did Google ads with a landing page, with contract, with phone tracking, with a team for $350 for small budgets. Call it $500, which is absurd. So we try to move away from that, and then we did $350 meta ads only, which is also kind of absurd, but I think it's a little more manageable because it's all on the Facebook side. You don't have to create a website. You don't have to do any kind of tracking as far as gravity forms, landing pages. Oh my God, Google Tag Manager. That's way too much stuff. But with meta ads, you just need access and you can run ads. So it was a little bit better, you could say, from a terms of how much it is to manage. But all of these solutions, so for example, 350 plus 500, that's 850. It actually makes more sense to do search engine optimization, to build somebody's website within SEO. We build our websites with SEO, so we don't actually charge for the website, which I think is fine. And build their online presence. It actually makes more sense from a long-term perspective because even within the 3 months, they're gonna have something solid, like a foundation. Can they find you by searching your brand name online? Do you have what you do, where you do it on your website? Do you have a website that explains exactly, or not exactly, but explains what you do and how they can contact you? Is your site indexed onto Google? Do you have NAP directories set up? So all these things are foundational, and so our pricing is $650 for SEO or paid ads, or $1,000 for both, basically. And so, technically all the clients that we had in the 350 range, they can afford the 650 SEO. It's just a matter of, do they have the runway themselves to allow SEO to take place? And so it's a pretty big eye-opener because instead of, in this 3-month contract, instead of saying, 350 this, 350 that, we can offer the 650 SEO, which I think is a better alternative. But that's where I realized, that's why there's so many freaking agencies that do SEO, because it's much more, it's lower risk in a way. Sure, the payout is not necessarily as high because I mean it's SEO. Like it's not as it's not as grandiose, but it is over time worth it. Like if 6 months ago, you know, your SEO starts kicking in and you start getting customers, especially when it's like the busier season, that's a dub. But I mean, I personally like paid ads, and I didn't even realize how much paid ads. It's much more work to do Google ads, to do Meta ads, than it is to do SEO. I had no idea. Like I just lived in paid ads land forever because that's what I like. I like the chaos. I like the risk. I like the putting fire into the gasoline. But anyways, that is why we are updating to a 3-month agreement. And so one super crazy thing about losing the 17 clients is a lot of these clients were like we basically traded higher paying accounts for lower paying accounts. And that's what the problem when you focus on, like, if the focus was selling, like trying out this 350 Meta ads package, like that was kind of dumb on my part. Like, of course we closed a bunch of that. Like that's what we were taking in. And so like if I just look at my numbers here, like some of the bigger accounts that we lost, which I mean we charged 650 and 1,000. So like we lost, and then like sometimes we had, you know, some past packages, but well, some of the bigger ones that we lost was 750, 800, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 2,000. And overall, I mean that's $12,100. Like that's actually like I would have preferred just to stay the same, you know. But you know, you live and you learn, and so that is the development with running this, John. And from an internal standpoint, we've also experienced a shrinkage with our team. Essentially, we were 9 total people, employee-wise, including me. One person, they were basically here as a bridge. They got let go from the agency they were at. Then they found another job, so they moved on, which is actually great. Like it was temporary, anyways. Then we had somebody who is no longer with it just because it was a little fishy. Maybe I'll get into that later. So that puts us at 7, and then we actually stopped using one of the contractors that we had. Can you guys imagine? Anyone listening here? I was paying somebody $1,500 just to post on the Google profile pages for all our, like to schedule it out, and it was not worth paying that. So I was like, let's just, we have the hours in house. Like why am I sending contract work out? And again, it's because in the chaos, it feels like you're like everything's shaking. But once I've slowed down the sales and the inflow and the leads and all that, it's like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of chill. Like literally today at around 1 o'clock, everybody was like, huh, what do we do now? So it's something that we're gonna feel definitely moving forward. But I think that the benefits should hit. For example, if we didn't close a single client moving forward, we would probably just switch it back, switch it back. But that is the current state of where we're at as far as adding this 3-month minimum contract. I can't say we haven't closed anybody. I think we have a couple people that I've sent looms to. There's a couple people that are like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'm looking to move forward with it. And there's a couple people who they didn't initially pay for, like, let's say 2 weeks ago, they're like, hey, I'd like to do, this 350 package. And they're like, hey, I'm ready to move forward. I've gone back and said, hey, we no longer do this for X, Y, and Z. The reasons I just mentioned recently, aforementioned, you could say. But that's a pretty big change, I would say. So hopefully it works out. If not, we'll switch it back. Another big change that I'm making is the amount of times I get hit up for partnerships. I mean, if any business owner, any agency, anybody out there who's actually doing anything, people are gonna, be honestly parasites. Like they're gonna try and put their business on top of your business. So like people who do AI automation, people who want to build websites, people who want to do social media, people who want to white label, people who want to refer work, this and that. I literally had a call the other day, like I think it was yesterday, where a guy was like, he submitted a form as if he was the lead and then pitched me on like his services that he could do for our clients. And I was like, hey, I would just give you like our contact. Anyways, doesn't matter. One thing I'm also saying to people, like, well, I don't really respond if like people email me, but like if it turns into, if the conversation that texting or on a phone call with, it turns into like, hey, what would you think about a partnership? I just don't do it anymore. Like, I'm not accepting any kind of partnership because it literally has never worked out. It has never literally worked out. And I think it's just because we're actually not, like, we can handle ourselves. I mean, I guess it could possibly be helpful one day, but it just hasn't been. Like, if someone's like, hey, I can build a website for you, it's like, we can build a website. Hey, I can do the Google Ads and SEO for you. We have literally full-time employees who do that in-house. Why would we do that? And you know what? Somebody gave me their pricing, and they're like, yeah, for every account that we help, we charge $750, and you can put you charge whatever you want to the clients. And I was like, okay, so you're telling me that, if I pay somebody $4,000 a month, that means that I can only outsource, quote unquote, 5 people. That's $3,750 out of 5 SEO clients. I can either do that, get that outsourced to this partnership, so-called partnership, or I could just pay somebody in-house and have them full-time, literally in-house, literally talk to the customer, literally be part of the team, literally I'm not controlling the person, but they're in the realm of control. Like, we're working together collaboratively, fully, not outsourced. And so it's like, that makes no sense. And plus, the crazy thing about it is like, okay, we actually have close to like 50, 60 customers. So you're telling me I should be paying $37,500 for you to outsource this part for me? That makes 0 sense. I'm literally better off hiring top tier SEO talent or talent in general in order to do that. So these partnership things, like, literally never pan out. And I think anybody who's actually like genuine about building like a partnership, it's referral based. Like, hey, I don't do this. Here, you can call this guy and they can help you, or this company, they can help you. That's a partnership to me. Like a partnership that's actually real. Like, you don't say it's a partnership, you just help each other out. There is, or the other version of that is like, you can literally be like a legitimate partnership. Like, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I have a detail shop and, I see what you've done, I'll do 50, I'd be like, give me 51. Do 5149, you own equity in it, you're legally in this thing. Like, then it's like, okay, that's a partnership too. Like, I'll use my own money to run the ads, to buy equipment, to pay payroll, we'll build it up. Let's do that partnership. But these partnerships where it's like, oh, hey, if you give us some of your clients, we'll do kickbacks, and like, they have literally never ever worked. So that is something that I'm no longer gonna do. Anyways, we're on TikTok Live here. If you are listening to this podcast called the Local Service Podcast, I go TikTok Live, so go check that out on my handle. I don't even know if I had TikTok when I created this freaking podcast. But today we have James. I want to do that. We have somebody else said, what's up? We have April Masonry saying, "Hey, Unc, what are we talking about?" We're talking about the changes I made to my business here recently. Because, like I mentioned, I've had this podcast for like 4 years. I just haven't posted in quite some time. So that is the update. How much time are we at? 18 minutes. Let's try to hit 20. What is one more big change that we've made so far this year? Our pricing did change a couple times. We updated our pricing 3 times. Honestly, this year we grew the most. Last year, I think we hit $360,000 in revenue. And so far through October 10th, we are at, let me open up my FreshBooks account here. My FreshBooks account is where we have all our invoicing and revenues. And we're at $625,000. So we're actually up kind of considerably. 625 minus by 360. That's about That's about 265,000 more. And we should hit another 140, I would say. So that's a pretty big jump. And what is the main reason for the growth? Let's talk about that. So literally organic social media. Like, people say like, hey, I don't have a big budget. Like, organic social media. Google Ads is great. SEO is great. Website is great. Paid ads is great. Meta ads is great. But if you have your own base where you get your own leads with your organic content that's literally free, everything else becomes easier. Like, we run ads. I run Meta ads. I run Google Ads. But I also don't have to it's not like a do or die. Like if I don't get leads from it, that's okay. I can be patient. I can make my ads more and more difficult to sign up for because we want like quality leads. Versus if it's like, hey, I put $200 in, I need like 500 back or else that's it. I'm out of business. It's like, oh, that's not very useful. So we got a question here from user 592. Do you service the Pacific Northwest? We service anywhere in the United States. So as long as you're a local service-based business, and I don't want to say you fit the criteria, but you fit the criteria, meaning we can actually help you. We can definitely talk. I'm just gonna guess. Are you in roofing? I don't know. I feel like roofing is like really hard right now. Christian R has a question. Thoughts on commission based on leads for ads? So are you talking about you running ads for your customers? I mean, I think it's fine. It definitely is a little bit more. You have to trust each other. So like, how do you know that the customer is closing the leads, following up with the leads, trying actually to close the lead? And if they do close the lead, how do they report that back? So that, I mean, all this stuff works. It's all about communication and having like legitimate relationship versus putting yourself in a bad situation. So user landscaping, nice. How long would it take for you to make the website and run ads? See, that's a question I don't even want to answer, because you're talking about speed. Why? How fast do you want it? In a day? You wanted it. If I told you, hey, I can get it up and running in 30 minutes from right now, would that satisfy that question? Why? What is behind that question that you're asking that? Christian R, I know I'm being a little rough here, but like, why are you asking that in that manner? Christian R, love your content. What top services do people on social media ask for? It's the same stuff. I didn't have a meltdown yesterday, but I was like, how can you differentiate? Like, if you are an agency, like an online agency, you're probably doing Google Ads, search engine optimization, web design, Google profile management. So is it hard to do all four of those things like collectively? Probably, but we do that. And then we do like the things that we're missing, I would say, is like creating content. Like we don't create content on behalf. So my point is everyone offers the same thing. Like to some degree, everyone we're doing lead generation. So like I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't want to be everybody. You know what I mean? It's kind of like being a jerk, but it's like, dude, I'm not these other agencies, even though I am. I literally am. Like, this is what we do. In fact, we probably do it more than others. Anyways, user, couple weeks or in a week in that sense. So if you're a customer with us, by the time you sign up, to build a landing page, it takes 3 to 5 days. So if you're running Google Ads, if you're running Meta Ads, a combination of the both, it takes us 3 to 5 days to build a landing page for the ads and 3 to 5 days to launch the campaign. If you're wanting a full website, we actually don't do a full website on its own. We do websites that are tied to search engine optimization, and that takes us around 30 days. Also, we have 90-day contract minimum. So like, if anybody that works with us, the runway is 90 days. Because what keeps on happening with a lot of businesses is they start, they stop, they start, they stop. And it's like, it's a waste of everybody's time. So we're very adamant now, like, hey, if you're serious, we're serious. Like, this is what we do. And we would like to at least get 90 days, which is nothing. Like 90 days is literally like, you can't even, ain't nobody doing nothing. Everyone's the exact same in 90 days. So like, at least get a little closer to marketing instead of like starting and stopping and starting and stopping. Christian has a question. I think they ask like that. It usually means they also want to see results fast. And it's crazy how, like, and I don't know how old you are, user. Again, I'm not trying to knock on you or anything, but a lot of times too is like, I talk to people sometimes and they've been in business for like 4 or 5 years, 8 years, and they're stuck in that part where they're like, I need it fast. I need it now. I need it quick. And it's like, it's been 8 years, buddy. That's so rude. I'm so sorry. It's been 8 years. Like, what is 90 days, or what's a 1 more year of waiting? It's like, you've already not done it for 7 years. How is it a problem now? Why is it a problem today? And I feel, unfortunately, like that's kind of how you have to talk sometimes. Porque si no, uno se pone un poco. User finance too. For the $1,000 3-month plan, you have to like much time. Sorry. User 592 has a question. For the $1,000 3-month plan, you have like how much time would I have to wait for it to be I think you're saying how long it is to be effective. In landscaping, it depends on your budget. See, here we go. It's the same answer. It depends on your budget and depends where you're at. And it depends what you're looking for. So like if you're doing maintenance, it's so easy. You could argue like maintenance sucks, but if you have 1,000 maintenance customers, they're gonna need projects throughout time. But that's a different story. If you're like, I do backyard design, different story. If you say, hey, I do fences and patios, oh, that's a different story. So like, what are you good at? What do you want? What's your team size, by the way? Like some people, if you're an owner operator and you have some help, you don't need too much. 3-4 closed leads, small to medium sized projects, you're good. If you have 80 people, 17 vehicles, and you cover the state of Washington, it's like, well, that's a different story. So, anyways, happy to do a free consultation. I'm serious and looking for help in Black Friday. No, I just meant how long it would take. I do clothing. Been in business for hell yeah. Congratulations. What kind of clothing? Like you sell the like the material. You do like embroidery. What do we do here? Buenas tardes, César. Disculpe, ¿le puedo hacer una llamada rápida? Ay, perdón, ahorita le voy a llamar. Hola. Bueno, and then I speak Spanish. I'll be flipping. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Le puedo llamar o la puedo llamar? Le puedo llamar en unos 15 minutos. Produced in LA. Very nice. Designer's Men's. Very cool. Very cool. Anyways, I have a podcast called the Local Service Podcast, which I am literally recording right now. We're at 26 minutes. I do got a call. By the way, this is probably the most successful residential cleaning campaign we've ever done. And it's so crazy. This is why marketing sucks. We've had maybe 6 Google Ads cleaning companies, residential cleaning. Why is this one like hands down the best one we've done? I'm telling you, there's nothing different. It's the area and it's the competition because the keyword structure is the same. The campaign is somewhat the same. The ads are somewhat the same. The service area is somewhat, like the radius is somewhat the same. Like there's not actually anything that different. The landing pages are the same structure that we do. Why is this one performing better than all the other ones we've done? I mean, granted, like the other ones did okay. This was just like literally from the moment it started, it's just producing. Sí, claro, me avisa cuando se desocupe y le llamo, gracias. So she gotta call me, all right. Okay. So yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like, I don't know. Like if I took this campaign and I went to literally somebody else in the same area and I made the exact same campaign, I'm pretty sure it won't work the same. Maybe it's the name, maybe it's the marketing gods favoring, Another story is we had a client who got negative review bombed. So like it's like extortion. Somebody will text you and say like, hey, somebody put a hit on you and they ordered me to put 100 1-star reviews for your business, and they look legit. Like it'll say, hey, this company is terrible, they don't know what they're doing, I would not recommend them. And then there's like a ton of them and they actually show up and they bring the review rating down. So of course it's like, hey, and then the person who messages, who's like doing I don't know what the right word is, who's doing the review bombing, they'll say like, hey, I can change them. Just give me $500 and I'll change them. And it's like, do I do it? Because people freak out like, oh my God, I'm getting review bombed. What do I do? Do I pay the $500? And it's like, no, don't pay the $500 because then they'll just ask for 1,000 next time and 10,000 and 20,000 until you say no. And so you kind of have to rely on Google's system here where because they're fraudulent. Like if you go look at the accounts that's posting it, they have no other reviews, they have no history, and they're not actually clients. They're just made up things. So you report all of them, and then over time they'll get taken down. So I think that was last week on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, and by Wednesday it's already down a little bit. So I'm sorry, they've all been removed. So really, it's not too bad. You just have to hold your ground. And even if they didn't go away, I would not pay for that. I would reply and say, you've never been a customer here. Yeah, I mean, I would think of an appropriate message. You've never been a custom here. This is an error review, and I would just reply to all of them, and I'd move on because I'd even probably say like check the profile history. Judging by the profile history, this is a fake review, and then I leave it because you're always gonna have like there's always gonna be bad actors, and you can't you know again if you play that game, they're gonna freaking take advantage of that, even though they're already taking advantage. And so that is gonna probably conclude the comeback, the big comeback of Local Service Podcast. Oh, we got a couple more questions. Christian, do you have the clients attribute their growth solely on them and drop you? Let's reread that because that didn't make sense. Do you have the clients attribute their growth solely on them and drop you? I don't really know what that means, but I mean, it's definitely not always us. Like, I think that, if anything, I would, it's so situational. Like, sometimes it's the client's doing good and they're great and they just never ran ads, and now that they're being found by more people, it's easy to scale or it's easy to make something happen out of that. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this episode. Tune in. I don't know, maybe next year, maybe next week. I should make these consistent. What are we thinking? Friday? I listen to another podcast. They do it every Friday. I kind of like that because I look forward to Friday because the podcast come out. I'm going to schedule the podcast every single Friday. So this podcast will be out Friday, November 7th on Spotify, Apple. Look up the Local Service Podcast. Henry Hurst, you submitted a thing. Let's take a look here. I get an automation. Handmade Rust. I see it. Immediately. Hi, looking for type of ads, Google Meta, Land. Let's check out your website actually. Handmade.us. Thanks for filling out the form, by the way. Podcast on YouTube, that's the one place it's not going to be at. I was going to record this, but, oh man, because then I have to take the movie, and then I have to, I have to take the movie, and then I have to separate the audio. And right now, we're just trying to post consistently. Oh, cool. This is a cool clothes. Hey man, let me buy some of this clothes, man. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'll get back to you. Yeah, I know, Christian. That's on me. I technically could put an audio file on YouTube, which, by the way, if you look up Caesar Gill Houston, I have a website. I specifically outranked another Caesar Gill in Houston. It took me like 6 months to do it, but I did it. And if you click on that, you'll find a link to my YouTube channel, which is It's Caesar Gill.
Hello, Daniel. This is.
And there you will find all these videos. I have so many audits on here. I have like day in the lives. I have podcasts like this. So I could upload the video and just put like a photo, and it's at least listenable. So I can do that. Hand Rust made myself everything. It's just me and my wife. Hell yeah, man. Do you mind me asking how much revenue are you making from that? Sunshine, what's your starting price? Another question, how long does it take to actually get good leads? It really depends, Sunshine. I have no idea. What kind of business are you in? And what is success to you? Like what is success? Do you need one customer? Do you need 1,000? Are you a barber? Are you a home remodeler? Are you Anyways, our starting price is $650 or $1,000. We do have a 3-month minimum contract, and depending on the business, depending on the area, depending on the budget, depending on how good you are, you're. Some people have like generic names. They have no online presence. They have no reviews. Like, you're basically starting from zero. When you have something, it's like it's like if you take somebody who's been working out for 3 years, they don't really know what they're doing, but they've been going to the gym. It's like, and then they get a trainer. It's like, okay, you're starting somewhere. Now we're just gonna chisel, versus like, okay, this is what a barbell is, or like, all right, we gotta find a gym. So like, 200 plus for the year already, but have done higher. Nice. I'm just starting on my business. I have reviews, and I'm hardscaper and landscaper. Nice. That's pretty cool. So, anyways, that's it. I'm dipping. Again, check out the podcast. Look up the Local Service Podcast. It's gonna come out Friday, midnight. Stay up late, download it, and we'll go from there. But yeah, if anyone's interested in working together, go to symphonyadvertising.com or just Google Symphony Advertising. If our website doesn't come up #1 on the organic results, we suck. Don't hire us. But if you do, you will find that we are, of course, going to appear. We have 122 Google reviews. You can look at all information on our website. I've been thinking about putting like a Christmas hat on the Symphony Advertising logo, just because it's funny. And changing it to like a little bit more Christmassy just because I think it's funny. Or holiday season-y. But yeah, I followed you. Hopefully we can do something. I'm from Texas too. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Sir, madam, sorry. But I'll reach out. I have your information here. So usually I make a Loom video with a strategy. And so we'll go from there. So thanks for hanging out and catch you later.